Now let's proceed to the concentration of fluids. So we have the isotonic, the hypotonic, and then the hypertonic. So let me give you a brief background. Kinakailangan po ang tonicity or kinakailangan ng osmolarity or ang concentration ng extracellular fluid ay same sa intracellular fluid. Kailangan balanse po yan. Bakit? Kasi pag hindi po balanse yung concentration sa intracellular at concentration sa extracellular, there will be movement of water, which is osmosis, or movement of particles, which is diffusion. Kasi 'di ba, ang goal ng katawan natin is to maintain homeostasis or balance. So in the event na merong part or isa sa kanila, either the intracellular or the extracellular fluid ay hindi balanse, gagawa ang katawan ng paraan para balansehin yun. So there will be movement of water or fluid. Now, meron tayong mga IVF or IV fluid that are isotonic, hypotonic, and then hypertonic na tinatawag. So we go to them one by one. Pag sinabi nating isotonic, these are IV fluid, exerts the same osmotic pressure as found in the plasma. So iso means the same. So halimbawa, imaginein mo, sa ugat, pumasok yung IV fluid na isotonic. Ibig sabihin, same ang osmolarity niya sa plasma. So, there will be no movement of water from the intracellular to the extracellular or vice versa. Bakit? Kasi wala naman nadagdag dun sa concentration eh. Isotonic, pareho lang. Parang niloadan mo lang din siya ng plasma kasi pareho sila ng concentration. Now, let's go to hypotonic. Exerts less osmotic pressure than that of the blood plasma. So, ito yung mga IVF kung saan pag pumasok ito sa dugo, mas konti yung concentration nila. Okay, kasi hypotonic. So, tonicity is the concentration, mas konti yung concentration nila. So, anong nangyayari? Nadadilute yung dugo. Next, hypertonic. Ito yung klase ng solution kung ang hypotonic nakakapag-dilute ng dugo. Ang hypertonic naman, hyper mas marami ang tonicity nila. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas ang concentration ng blood kesa sa intracellular fluid. Okay, now you see this. Try to imagine. Try to imagine that this is the blood vessel and this is the cell. Okay, let me use the laser pointer. So try to imagine that this is the cell, of course. And then this one outside is the blood. Okay. And then, for example, nagbigay ng isotonic. Iso means the same. Ibig sabihin, kung 4 ang concentration nito, 4 ang concentration nito, walang movement na mangyayari kasi same lang yung concentration na idadagdag ng isotonic. Pareho lang sila ng concentration ng plasma. Now, tingnan natin yung hypotonic. Sa hypotonic, hypo means low. Ibig sabihin, for example, ito yung cell at nagbigay tayo ng hypotonic solution na sumama sa dugo, yung dugo ay mas nagiging malabnaw. Yung dugo ay mas bumababa yung tonicity na tinatawag niya. So, on that note, sa virtue ng osmosis, from an area of lower concentration to an area of higher concentration. So, from an area of lower concentration, so nasaan ang lower concentration? Nasa dugo, kasi mas malabnaw nga yung dugo, di ba? From an area of lower concentration to the area of higher concentration. Kasi mas concentrated na yung loob ng cell. Kasi nga, nagbibigay tayo ng hypotonic sa blood. So, anong mangyayari? The cell will swell. Eventually, it will go into lysis or breakdown or magbe-burst na tinatawag yung cell. Now, punta naman tayo sa hypertonic. Again, on a normal note, kinakailangan balanse kagaya nitong nakikita nyo sa isotonic. So, anong nangyari? Itong cell, 4 lang ang concentration niya. Ngayon, nagbigay tayo sa dugo ng hypertonic solution. o solution na nakakapagparami ng concentration ng blood. So osmosis, from an area of lower concentration to the area of higher concentration. So asan dyan ngayon sa dalawa na yan, ang lower ang concentration? Nasa loob ng cell. So yung fluid inside the cell will go out dun sa blood. So anong nangyayari? The cell will shrink and eventually die. Nakikita nyo ang letter R, hypertonic, may yung shrink, may letter R din po. Iyon. Yung O dyan, we usually term this as bloat. So pagka ma-bloat yung cell, hypotonic yun kasi nga may letter O. Ganun lang po namin tinatandaan. Now let's go to fluid volume deficit and fluid volume excess. So pag sinabi nating fluid volume deficit, kulang. Pag sinabi nating fluid volume excess, sobra. This results when fluid loss exceeds fluid intake. Yung nawala ay sumobra kesa sa bumalik. So nagkulang. Sodium and water are lost in equal amounts from the vascular space. This is also termed as hypovolemia or isotonic dehydration. But again, this is not the same as dehydration because dehydration, fluid ang nawawala, nare-retain ang sodium. Sa fluid volume deficit o sa hypovolemia, sabay na nawawala on an equal level yung blood at yung sodium. Ano daw ang nakaka-cause nito? Decreased intake or poor appetite. Sabi nga, di ba, fluid must be taken in to replace what is being burned out or removed or excreted from the body. So kung hindi napapalitan kung ano yung nilalabas ng katawan, pwedeng magkaroon ng fluid volume deficit. Drugs that affects fluid and volume, affects fluid and electrolytes, yung mga diuretics, yan. Yung mga pasyenteng nagda-diuresis, yung mga pasyente natin na may diabetes insipidus, ang dami ihi nila. Forgetting to drink and eat, yung mga matatanda o yung mga bata na hindi nila masabi na nagugutom sila. Vomiting, diarrhea, GI suction, diuretics, impaired yung swallowing, hindi makainom, tube feedings, yung mga tube feedings na ang binibigay lang ay austerized feeding, yung OF, at hindi enough yung water na ibinibigay, pwedeng bumaba yung blood fluid sa katawan, and fever. This causes fluid loss through sweating, yung mga laxative, yung pampapupo, hemorrhage, yung mga nagdurugo. Third, spacing, yung hindi, yung extracellular fluid ay nag-transfer na doon sa area kung saan or compartment kung saan hindi naman siya doon dapat mapunta. Signs and symptoms, acute weight loss. Again, weight is the single most sensitive parameter when we talk about fluid volume excess and fluid volume loss. Sabi nga, di ba, 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1 liter of fluid, weight gain or weight loss. Decreased skin turgor, yung mga kulang sa fluid, syempre even the moisture of the skin ay nawawala. Postural hypotension, yung mga pasyente natin na gumalaw lang ng konti, nagbabago na ang kanilang blood pressure sa sobrang konti ng fluid nila sa katawan. Increased urine-specific gravity o yung concentration ng fluid. Weak, rapid ang pulse kasi konti na nga lang po ang fluid sa katawan. There will be cool extremities kasi yung init ng katawan natin, isa sa nagbibigay ng init ng katawan natin ay yung sudden gush of blood o yung pagdaloy ng dugo sa ating mga ugat. Na kung konti yung dugo na dumadaloy sa ating ugat, cold ang extremities natin. At the same time, anong ginagawa ng peripheries natin? Kapag kakulang yung dugo, nagvasoconstrict sila. Pag nagvasoconstrict yan or kumipot yung mga ugat, yung mga dugo, pupunta sila sa mga organ kung saan mas kinakailangan sila, such as brain, the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, and other organs na mas kinakailangan yung blood supply. So, nagbabasoconstrict yung peripheries, mas cold or mas malamig yung extremities. Dry mucous membrane because of the low fluid in the body, decreased ang BP kasi decreased po ang plasma volume. Decreased ang peripheral pulses, There will be oliguria o konti yung urine na nilalabas ng katawan. Decreased vascularity in the neck and the arms kasi nga nagva-vasoconstrict. Decreased ang central venous pressure. So if you will try to assess the jugular vein, yung jugular vein hindi na natin makita through our naked eye. And increased ang respiratory rate as a compensatory mechanism. Kasi pagka mas in-increase ang respiratory rate, iniisip ng katawan na mas marami yung oxygen na pwedeng pumasok sa katawan. Kasi nga 'di ba kulang yung blood. So kulang yung hemoglobin. So kulang yung oxygen. So anong gagawin ng ating lungs? Magbi-breathe in ako ng oxygen na mas marami. Diagnostic test, serum electrolytes, hematocrit. Ang hematocrit po natin, that is the solid component of the blood. So mas mataas yung hematocrit, mas concentrated ang dugo. The urine specific gravity usually mas mataas siya sa 1.025. Treatment measures, oral or IV fluid replacement. If it is due to hemorrhage, syempre ang ipapalit mo dyan ay blood products. Ang possible complication will be shock, the hypotachy-tachy, hypotension, tachycardia, tachypnea. Yan po ang vital signs na makikita natin sa pasyente natin once nagmamanifest na po siya ng hypovolemic shock. Now, kung wala pong proper perfusion dahil konti ang dugo, there will be multi-organ failure. There will be brain dead, there will be heart attack, there will be acute tubular necrosis, or even renal failure. There will be decreased cardiac output. So may question daw po dito. The client at the highest risk for fluid volume deficit is, ano daw po yung at highest risk ng fluid volume deficit? So try to pause and then try to answer the question. So the answer is a 4-month-old with diarrhea. Unang-una, nandun yung edad, bata, di makakapag-communicate yan ng thirst o nang nararamdaman niya. Plus, nagda-diarrhea pa yung bata, naglalabas ng abnormal fluid sa katawan. Now, let's go to fluid volume excess. So, sobra. Ito ay nangyayari when fluid intake exceeds fluid loss. So, maraming nare-retain sa katawan. Excessive retention of water and sodium in the extracellular fluid, particularly in the blood. So, it is also called as hypervolemia or isotonic overhydration. Ano po ang causes? Renal failure kasi hindi na po makaihi yung pasyente, so nare-retain yung fluid. Congestive heart failure. Ang nangyayari po dito, there will be decreased kidney perfusion dahil mababa yung cardiac output, which leads to excessive fluid retention. Cushing syndrome, yung mataas po yung corticosteroid, mataas yung kanilang aldosterone, so they attract sodium, they attract water, so yung water nare-retain sa katawan. Excessive sodium, blood product administration, kaya dapat titrated o timplado. Increased ang ADH, so increased ang pumipigil umihi, so hindi iihi ang pasyente, nare-retain lang sa katawan. Several medications, for example, steroids, yan, exogenous steroids o yung mga artificial steroids. Liver disease, sometimes there will be excess production of aldosterone if there is renal disease, causing water and sodium retention. Hyperaldosteronism pala yun, no? Hyperaldosteronism. And then burn treatment. Usually, the first 24 hours, ang gagawin dyan, they will bombard the patient with fluids para yung katawan ng pasyente ay maging normal. However, sometimes sumusobra. That's why nagkakaroon ng fluid volume excess. Signs and symptoms are jugular vein distension. So if you will put the patient in a semi-Fowler's position and you will let the patient cough, so ang jugular vein po niya ay nagiging mas prominent. There will be bounding pulse and tachycardia, abnormal breath sounds kasi baka yung fluid nagpunta na po sa baga. There will be polyuria, mas nag-iihi ang pasyente kasi karami pong blood volume, ang daming nafi-filter na blood ng kidney, marami din pong iihi. Mababa ang mababa ang urine-specific gravity, ang iniihinan ng pasyente halos maputing-maputi na. So, it is less than 1.010. Dyspnea and tachycardia, increased ang blood pressure, increased ang central venous pressure na po pwede nating ma-assess through the jugular vein distension. Ang pasyente natin possible na merong edema, merong productive cough, again kasi baka napunta na po sa baga yung fluid, and there will be weight gain. Again, increase ang central venous pressure, inulit lang po yan, edema, productive cough, and then weight gain. Ang tests po ay serum electrolytes, the BUN creatinine, kaya baka kasi nagkakaroon ng fluid volume excess, it is because may problema na po sa kidney. Chest x-ray, pwedeng ma-identify kung meron ng fluid na nakabalot sa lungs or fluid na nakabalot sa puso. Makikita rin po yan. Ang treatment po, of course, you have to know that underlying cause. Pwede rin pong bigyan ng diuretic or loop diuretic yung pasyente, or po pwedeng bigyan ng thiazide or potassium-sparing diuretics, basta iiihiin ng pasyente. Huwag na pong painumin ng pasyente ng maraming sodium para hindi pa po mag-retain ng water. Complication po probably ay congestive heart failure and pulmonary edema. So, if we will try to differentiate fluid volume deficit, kulang, fluid volume excess, sobra. So, isipin nyo lang yung mga signs and symptoms pag nakulangan ng fluid at ang signs and symptoms pag nakulangan at pag nasobrahan ng fluid. Alamin nyo paano aalisin yung excess fluid at paano dadagdagan ng yung konting fluid. Yun na po ang hypovolemia at hypervolemia. So you have here another set of question. Ang pasyente daw po ay may fluid volume excess. Ano daw po ang ina-expect ng nurse? May postural hypotension? May cool extremities? May moist mucous membrane or may weak rapid pulse? So, postural hypotension, hindi yun. Cool extremities, hindi rin yun kasi for fluid volume deficit yon. And then weak rapid pulse ay pang fluid volume deficit. So, pag may excess, mas basa yung katawan, so there will be moist mucous membrane. So, that's the end of the discussion. Again, this will be included in the prelim examination. There will be the introduction, this one, and the sodium and potassium.